Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name's Allie from Heart and Soul Connected, and I'm so pleased you're with me here today. Thanks for being here. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the signs from the universe that you cannot ignore. How many of you have seen repeating numbers like 111 or 1111, 2222, or more, 44, whatever, repeating, numbers repeating, catching the number on time? Well, that's a sign from the universe. That's an angel number. A lot of them are. And a lot of them can give you a clue as to what your mindset might be thinking. Now, I know it's hard to believe for some of you who have not come on board with some of these spiritual things, but just give me a chance to explain. You may have felt like the universe is trying to tell you something, but you're not quite sure what. You keep having the same things show up in front of you. You keep seeing cows. You keep feeling the song on the channel has the words that you've been needing to hear. Whatever it might be, you keep smelling lavender. There's a lot of different ways that we can the universe can communicate with us, and we can communicate back. But you have to be awake and open to the symbols and what they personally mean to you. It's a lot like dreaming. It's going to be a different way it comes in, but if you're aware, you may be able to unleash the information that's there and figure out what it means to you. Whatever it is, you're not alone. If you're wondering if the world is seeking you by giving you these messages. Skeptics might think the idea of the universe sending messages is just a bunch of nonsense, like I just said. Okay, that's fine. But isn't the universe just a vast expanse of space and time? And how could it communicate with us in a meaningful way? For those of us who have experienced the strange and unexplainable events, it's hard to shake the feelings that there's more going on for us. We might feel confused or unsure of what to make of these experiences. And of course, that's totally understandable. And for some of us, we get different messages, even from the same thing that we experience, because we are different people and we have different experiences. People often turn to spiritual leaders or gurus for guidance, but sometimes their explanations can feel vague or unhelpful, or they might just not resonate with the way you feel about something. We might start to wonder if we're just reading too much into something, or if we're looking for meaning when there just isn't meaning there. What if we're just imagining something? What if the universe, though, is really trying to communicate to us, and we just poo-poo it? We say, it's not real. Sometimes the universe slows us down. We're supposed to be somewhere, and we get halfway up the road and realize, I forgot my phone, my keys, my purse, my money. I forgot to lock the door. I forgot to turn off the stove. And we come back and we do that very thing, and that puts us behind. And we set out again to go somewhere that we are planning to go to. And up ahead of us, there's a horrible accident that's occurred, where if we had been on the road at that time, there's a very distinct possibility we could have been involved in what that accident has done in our own life. There's a lot of people who miss a plane, miss the bus, miss the train, and they've either found somebody that they needed to speak to, averted some kind of disastrous event, or simply been at the right place at the right time to help somebody who was in dire need of help. These things do happen. They aren't really coincidences. What they're called is synchronicities. And so each day, you probably have a lot of these come around you. And many times, you're just simply not paying any attention. Some of them are meant to slow us down. Some are meant to wake us up. But there are meaningful coincidences or synchronicities that happen in the universe. And we just have to be open to their messages and what they mean for us. Our brains are wired to look for patterns. This is something that we are already having happen in our world. And we know exactly what we do when we start to notice strange coincidences or repeating numbers. We might feel like we're on the verge of uncovering a secret, or taking our magnifying glass and becoming little Sherlock Holmeses. But we get stuck. We can't figure out exactly what it means. We're trying to decipher some kind of a code, but the message that is there is just a bit out of reach. What I want you to realize is there is such thing as pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is when you can recognize a pattern before something else happens, and you can avert that pattern by choosing something different. But if you're not open to recognizing those patterns, then you will not see what's going to happen, or will not realize that you're putting yourself in a situation that you may have experienced before and didn't enjoy. One such thing is going into a restaurant and being totally ignored at the front. Nobody's there to take you to your chair, and you're waiting and waiting, looking at a menu. Finally, you flag somebody down and they take you to the table. Once you sit, nobody brings you any water. There is no waiter or waitress on this table. And if they do come over, it's like 10 minutes later, if you're still sitting there. And if you are still sitting there, are you really feeling that comfortable that this pattern won't continuously repeat itself? Have you ever been in a situation when you're sitting and waiting? You're waiting for your food, you're waiting for your drinks, you're waiting for your check, you're waiting for your waiter or waitress to see you. You're waiting for them to bring back your credit card to you. You're waiting for them to ask you if you want dessert. You put yourself in that situation way back at the entrance. If you think about it, you weren't being served. And that pattern continued itself throughout your time. And it's okay to make those mistakes once or twice. We learn from those mistakes if we are aware of them. The signs from the universe are there saying, it's not going to work out for you. Why don't you find something else? It really works if you can see it and make it happen. For some people, the answer lies in synchronicity. Those moments when two or more things happen together in a way that is meaningful. You and your spouse came around the corner and boom, you met. And you met in front of a restaurant. You went in the restaurant and everything worked out for you. You needed a book. You needed to get in a class, and the class was full. And your best friend comes in and says, oh yeah, I just dropped that class. I've already taken it before. Oh my God, I got to go right over here and sign up because I've been trying to do that all day. It can be anything, really. It's just how you develop your intuition around it that really, really assists you in not creating those same patterns, because the universe, God, your angels, your guides, whatever you want to call it, hello, we're here. Can you see us? We have a message for you. Yeah, take a break, or take a look, one or the other. Maybe you run into your old friend on the street and you stumble upon a book that seems directly important to your current situation. These moments can appear to be magical. They feel like winks from the universe, like, wow, who knew that would happen at that particular time? I have one very, very interesting one that happened very interestingly. I was on a website back in 1999, and I wanted to write a book, which I never have written. And there was a chat room where I dropped into. There was a man there who was writing a book. And I said, I'd like to know about your experience. We talked back and forth. I told him I would like to read his book. He wrote me in my email after we stopped talking. And that's now my husband. So how did that happen? How did that orchestrate itself to happen? That there were only two people in that room writing a book or thinking about writing a book who were there at the same time, who had the same interests in many things, and who kept up that conversation and led to a marriage later. Those things don't always happen. There was a pattern there. Others might feel meaning in spiritual beliefs, like the idea that we're all connected, or that the universe does have a plan for us, because in fact it does, unless we're just not interested. We made a plan for ourselves before we came here. We said, gee, I think we want to do this, you know? Once we start to tune into these ideas, we begin to notice strange and wonderful things that can start happening around us. And we feel like we're part of something much bigger. And we feel connected. And we feel like we can be given the answer, but we have to be open to look for it or see it when it does come to us. One powerful insight is that the idea of the universe is always communicating with us, but we're not always listening. We are very busy. We are thinking when we're not even working. We are not sleeping well. The universe does communicate to us all the time. We maybe get this many times that we can really understand what it's saying. Sometimes the messages are loud and clear, but other times they're subtle. They're really easy to miss. But the key is to stay open and receptive for receiving these messages and to trust the universe is guiding us even when we can't see it. Recognizing these messages can lead to some pretty profound transformations. We might start to see the world in a new light with everything connected and meaningful, and we might feel even more self-confident in things. The universe might be sending us a message in all sorts of ways, from our intuition to our dreams, to the people around us, the events that show up in our lives. And when we start to tune into these messages, we might be amazed at what we discover. Be open to the universe today. See if you can get the message. See if you're in tune, because each day is a day that brings you a message. Thank you, everybody.